بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على عبده ورسوله الأمين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. We have hadith number 62 with us in this blessed book of Umdatul Ahkaam, the hadith of Mother Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her. And who will read it for us? Yes, brother.
Narrated Aisha Raziallahu Anha, the Prophet was never more regular and strict in offering any nawafil than 2 rakah sunan of the Fajr prayer. In another narration, Aisha Raziallahu Anha reported Allah's Messenger Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam as saying, the 2 rakahs at dawn are better than this world and what it contains.
Now, this hadith is highlighting the sunnah of al-Fajr, the 2 rak'ahs that the Prophet ﷺ was very keen in praying more than any other voluntary prayers. And he told us about the great reward for those who pray it. And he told us about its value to the extent he said that these 2 rak'ahs are better than the whole world and what's in it. And these are the voluntary prayers of Fajr. If this is the status of the voluntary prayers of Fajr, then what is the status of the Fajr itself? That people neglect and ignore. Now, we know that the Prophet ﷺ always maintained praying these 2 rak'ahs. Not only that, there is another authentic hadith by Abdullah ibn Umar, may Allah be pleased with him and with his father, stating that the Prophet ﷺ, when he used to travel, he did not pray the sunnah of the Dhuhr, nor of the Maghrib, or of Isha. But he never ever left or abandoned the sunnah of Fajr and Witr, whether he's traveling or residing. And this highlights the importance of Sunnatu al-Fajr, these 2 rak'ahs. And the Prophet ﷺ prayed them in a very special way. And maybe a lot of you don't know that the Sunnah, when you pray these 2 rak'ahs, that you pray them as quick as possible. You pray them as fast as possible. They are among the fastest prayers in your life. To the extent that Mother Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, said that the Prophet used to pray ﷺ the 2 rak'ahs of Fajr so fast, I would ask myself, did he recite Fatiha or not? So the scholars say that the sunnah of Fajr, that you do not pray it in very slow motion and you take your time and you recite a quick surah. No. The Prophet's sunnah to pray in the first rak'ah, Fatiha and Qul Ya al-Kafirun. Second rak'ah, al-Fatiha and Qul Huwallahu Ahad. But you don't take your time, you read it very quickly. Part of following the sunnah. I'm not reading it quickly to get it over with. Well, actually I am. But it is what the Prophet used to do, so I'm following his sunnah. We move on to the chapter that deals with adhan. And the Prophet ﷺ highlighted the fact that those who call for the adhan will come on the Day of Judgment with the longest necks. One would say, yani they will come as a giraffe, for example. No. In Arabic language, when we say that he is one with a long neck, means that he is the one with pride and with honor and with generosity. So they will be identified on the Day of Judgment to be among those who used to call for the adhan. And the Prophet ﷺ highlighted its importance when he said, as in the Sahih hadith, had the people known the reward in the first row and in the call for the adhan, they would have fought to get this. And they would not find, except to draw lots, they would draw lots just to know who will call the adhan. Nowadays, people in the first row, you come to the masjid, Everybody's sitting behind, the first row is empty. Why? I have backache, I have to put my back on a pillar. I want to sit near the exit. I want to do this. Nobody fights for the first row. And the adhan, you go to the masjid, it's already has been called for the adhan of dhuhr. And you find 10 or 20 people in the masjid. Assalamu alaikum. Has anyone called for the adhan? No, no, no. Okay, anybody please call for the adhan? No, no, you go ahead. Why? I don't know it very well. I don't keep it by heart. I'm shy. I get embarrassed. Subhanallah. If American Idol or X Factor calls them to come and participate, they will be the first. We will write songs, we will dance, we will make the adhan. No, I'm ashamed, I'm embarrassed, I don't know. Subhanallah. Why is it when it comes to Islam, we're always at the back row, and when it comes to dunya, and when it comes to following shaitan, mashallah, we're up front? We have a problem. So the chapter of adhan is a very important chapter. What is the ruling of the adhan? Is it sunnah? Is it fard? Is it wajib? Scholars have different opinions, and they say it is fard kifaya. It is collateral obligation, meaning that if some of us do it, the others are not sinful. But if they all neglect it and don't do it, they are all sinful. And this is why the Prophet ﷺ, before attacking a village, he would wait until the time for Fajr. If he hears the adhan, he knows that they are Muslims and he leaves them. And not only that, the scholars say that if we are in a Muslim country or in a city that are Muslim and they have mosques and masjids and they call the adhan, and I would like to pray in a prayer hall, is it a must for me to give adhan? No. As long as the people, they did the adhan and we know that the time has entered, it's not mandatory for me to give the adhan. But if I'm in a country that there are no Muslims at all, then it becomes mandatory for me to give the adhan, so that I would be exempted from the sin of not giving it. Another question: what is more valuable and important, to lead the prayer or to give adhan? Whoever says to lead the prayer, raise your hands. 1. Okay, about 10. Who says the adhan is more important, raise your hands. 1, 2 only. And the rest are undecided. لا علم لنا, لا أدري, I don't know. That's good, that's good. It's an issue of dispute among scholars. Some say the best role is to lead the prayer. Why? Because it is the role of the Prophet ﷺ, Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman and Ali. So Allah would not choose for them except the very best. Other scholars say no, the role of the muazzin is greater than the role of the imam. And why? They said because all the hadiths highlight the importance of the adhan, but we don't have any hadiths encouraging people to lead the prayer, right? We don't have any hadith says that whoever leads a prayer, Allah will give him so and so, because this is a position of leadership, and in Islam we are not encouraged to go up front and call for such a position. And that is why a lot of the companions used to go to the Prophet ﷺ and would ask for a position in the government, like in the hadith of Abu Dharr al-Ghafari, when he went to the Prophet ﷺ and requested him to make him the ruler of a particular area. The Prophet took hold of his shoulders and shook him and said, Abu Dharr, you are a weak person, and being a ruler is an amanah. It is something to be trusted with, but on the day of judgment it is a disgrace and a humiliation. But if the people say that, oh, this guy is definitely worthy and we would like to push him forward, then it came without you asking for it, then fear Allah and do the best in it. So the adhan is better than leading the prayer. And why didn't the Prophet ﷺ and his companions call for the adhan? Simply because they had bigger fish to fry. They had more important things. To be in the masjid calling for the adhan 5 times is far less important than judging people and giving the ruling or the verdict between two people who are in dispute, and sending armies and expeditions and solving people's problems. This is far greater than isolating yourself in the masjid for the sake of giving the adhan. What do we do the adhan for? For the 5 daily prayers. We don't do the adhan for al-Eid. We don't do the adhan for any other prayer. The adhan is strictly for the 5 daily prayers. Because it is a form of worship, it has to be performed by an individual. And what do we mean by an individual? It cannot be performed by a cassette. Some countries you go, you enter the masjid and they have a cassette, they turn on the amplifiers and Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, it is recorded. This is not permissible. It's a form of worship. It has to be performed by an individual who is Muslim, who is so and so and so, and who is present, not by a tape recorder. We have a break. Stay tuned, and inshallah we'll be right back. Assalamu alaikum and welcome back. What is the origin of the adhan? Where did it come from? Is it in the Quran? No. Is it from the Sunnah? Yes. It has to be from the Sunnah. It can't be from anywhere else. And the origin of the adhan was that the Prophet ﷺ was discussing with his companions how to call for prayer. So some of them said, let's take a bell like the Christians. And some say, let's take a horn like the Jews. And they did not reach a conclusion. So one of the companions named Abdullah ibn Zayd went and saw a vision. And he saw in his vision that he was going to the market to buy a bell. And he saw a man telling him, what are you going to do? And he told him that I was going to buy a bell to call for the prayer. And he said, no, I'll show you something better. And he offered him the adhan. So when he woke up, he went to the Prophet ﷺ and he told him about the adhan. And the Prophet liked it. And Umar came and said, by Allah, I saw the same dream. Umar ibn Khattab. So Abdullah ibn Zayd wanted to give the adhan, to call for it, as he is the one who saw it. The Prophet ﷺ said, no, give it to Bilal because he has a nicer voice. So Bilal became the mu'adhin that we know of. Of course, we know that dreams are not a source of religion. But in this case, it was due to the presence of the Prophet ﷺ. So we don't engage and occupy ourselves with dreams. Nowadays, people are so fascinated with dreams, they make it the most important thing in their lives. Every day I get calls, hundreds of calls. Well, this is an exaggeration, tens of calls. Of people saying, Sheikh, I saw that this and that was happening to me. I woke up and I dreamt like so and so. And I keep telling them I do not have the ability to explain dreams or interpret dreams. And don't occupy yourself with it. If it's a good dream, it's a good omen, inshallah. Tell it only to those who are knowledgeable and able to interpret for you. If it's a bad dream, it's from shaitan. Spit 3 times on your left, providing your wife is not on your left. And seek Allah's refuge from the shaitan 3 times. This is what the Prophet said. And do not tell a soul about it, because it will not harm you. But if you tell people, it may harm you. So we do not put a lot of emphasis on dreams. Therefore, dreams are not something that we should hold on to and consider it to make it or break it. Dreams are dreams. They might be good omens, and they might be from what you tell yourself about or what shaitan whispers in your ears. And that is why a lot of the times our dreams are an interpretation of what we do in our daily lives. Now, what is the ruling on taking bells? It is forbidden for Muslims to take bells, not doorbell, not the bell of your bicycle, the bell that is like a glass with something dangling from it. This is the bell of the Christians, it is forbidden for Muslims to hang this on their rides or to have them as toys, etc. But if it is sort of notification that is hung on camels or on cows or on sheep so that we would identify where they're going and where they're traveling to, this is inshallah permissible. Now we have hadith number 63. So we'd like someone to read it for us.
Narrated Anas radiallahu an, Bilal radiallahu an was ordered to repeat the wordings of the azan for prayers twice, that is in doubles, and to pronounce the wording of the Iqama once, that is in singles. Sahih al-Bukhari.
Okay, now Anas, may Allah be pleased with him, says that the Prophet ﷺ ordered Bilal to repeat the adhan in doubles and the Iqama in singles. Now, first of all, we have to agree. How many sentences do we have in the adhan of Bilal? We have 15. 4, Allahu Akbar. 2, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. 2, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Hayya ala salah. Hayya ala al-falah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, la ilaha illallah. So these are 15. Shaykh, why are you repeating it? Because there are 3 different forms of adhan, and they're all part of the sunnah. So this adhan is known as adhan of Bilal, and this is widely accepted by all Muslims, and this is the adhan of Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal. May Allah have mercy on his soul. Then we have the adhan which has been chosen by Imam Malik ibn Anas, and this has 17 sentences by introducing something that is called at-tarji'. At-tarji', which means repetition, sort of. But instead of having 4 times Allahu Akbar, he's having only 2 times. And how would that be? Listen. The adhan with the tarji' is like this, according to Malik. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. And then he says silently, but repeating it, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. And then he announces it, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, till the end of the adhan. So these are how many? 17. We took 2 of Allahu Akbar and added 4 Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. The adhan of Al-Imam al-Shafi'i is composed of 19 sentences. So it is exactly like Al-Imam Ahmad, which is the adhan of Bilal, but you add to that what is known as at-tarji'. And by the way, this is originally referred to Abu Mahdura. And who is Abu Mahdura? Abu Mahdura is one of the companions of the Prophet ﷺ, who used to give the adhan in Mecca. Abu Mahdura, his story is very funny. When the Prophet ﷺ conquered Mecca on the 8th of Hijrah, so as he was going out, there were children, boys, youngsters, who were not Muslim, because Mecca was conquered. So they were making fun of the adhan. And one of them was Abu Mahdura. So he's making fun, Allahu Akbar, making fun, not calling for the adhan. The Prophet heard this, ﷺ. He asked his companions to gather them all. And he gathered them all. Of course, the boys were terrified. So he asked each one of them to give the adhan. Until he heard the voice of Abu Mahdura, he knew that this is the voice he wanted to hear. And he rubbed his chest and his forehead and prayed for him, supplicated for him. And he says that, subhanallah, I was guided to Islam. And he accepted Islam, and he became the mu'adhin of people of Mecca because of his beautiful voice. His adhan was exactly like Abu Bilal, but with the tarji'. So 15 plus 4. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Then Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. And then announces it loudly, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. This is done on the microphone, by the way. So if you're next to the masjid, you can hear the tarji' being very lightly done. but you can hear it. And it is sunnah to have all these. So don't restrict yourself only to Bilal's adhan and the other you neglect. But a word of advice, never go and try this home alone. In the sense that don't go to your masjid in the neighborhood who don't know about this and you give this adhan. What will they do to you? They will attack you. You're inventing in the deen. You're a kafir, you're so-and-so. Ya akhi, this is sunnah, Abu Mahdura. I don't know Abu Mahdura. So never ever attempt to do something in accordance to the sunnah. The first thing you do is you teach them. If they accept, okay, we volunteer and do it. And one of the biggest mistakes of youngsters who come and assume the position of an imam or the position of a teacher, when they come to their congregation, immediately they choose the odd things that the people don't know. Why are you doing this? It's a sunnah, I'm teaching them. Ya akhi, you don't teach them by making them hate you. First of all, pray as they know how you pray. Afterwards, give them lesson after lesson, lecture after lecture of the sunnah, of how to comply with it, how to follow it, and give them the different IDs, the different narrations. Al-Bukhari says, a Muslim says. Relate the people to the Quran, to the sunnah. Once they know that this is part of the sunnah, you then implement it. For example, you come to a masjid, and this masjid has been for the past 10 years reciting in Surah Al-Fajr very short ayahs. Very short ayah from Juz' Amma. And you assume the position of the imam. So you go and mashallah, tabarakallah, the first Jum'ah, the first Friday, I will make the sunnah. I will read Alif Lam Mim As-Sajda in the first rak'ah. And the second rak'ah I will read Hal Ata 'ala al-insani hinun min ad-dahri lam yakun shay'an madhkura. Approximately 5 pages in Fajr. The Prophet, sunnah, every single Friday. To my knowledge, nowhere that he recited anything else. So reciting 5 pages in Fajr to people who for the past 10 years used to praying half a page, half a page. What do you expect after the prayer they will do? The least, they will not give salam to you. Once they start to learn and to accept you and to love you, then you implement the sunnah as you have learned it. Do we have any questions? Yes, Rashi.
Sheikh, you mentioned that there are only 5 adhan. Isn't it true that in the Haram, Masjid al-Haram, there is an adhan for tahajjud as well?
The adhan for tahajjud? No, there isn't. There isn't any adhan for tahajjud. We have 2 adhans for Fajr. The first adhan and the second adhan, and this we will come to talk about, but this is for the Fajr. So it is not, again, other than the 5 prayers. I know that you have a lot of questions. Rather, you write them down because we ran out of time. So until we meet next time, fi amanillah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.